What's going on, all you minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today as I take an advanced look at the Conan the Barbarian Epic Collection from Marvel Comics, so please stay tuned. Okay, now before we get started looking at this book, I wanted to give a huge shout out to David Gabriel and the folks at Marvel Comics for sending us an advanced copy. This book will be out in the direct market, so places like Cheap Graphic Novels, Tales of Wonder, In-Stock Trades, and your comic book stores on August 5th. So here it is, Conan the Barbarian, the very first epic of the Marvel Classic run. The stories in here have already been released, or collected rather, in omnibus format. And this came out 2 years ago when Marvel first got the rights back, but now they're going to start releasing them in this format. And I'm sure you could probably tell, looks like we have more of a modernization on the colors on the epic. And the book retails for $34.99, and I'm assuming they're going to do these in chronological order. So this is Volume 1, featuring the years 1970 to 1972, and collecting Conan the Barbarian, 1 through 13, and material from Chamber of Darkness, number 4. So let's go ahead and get this opened. So, one of the coolest things that I'm so happy to have been a part of was a lot of you all were not happy with the fact that this was originally solicited as a complete collection. A lot of you all wanted it in the epic format. Big shout out to Curtis and the Epic Marvel Podcast. Those guys, all of you pushed for this to be renamed into an epic. So David Gabriel decided, you know what? Okay, we're going to make it an epic. So here you have it, another epic collection to collect now. Here's all the wonderful folks that put it together. And of course, your table of contents. So the book is called The Coming of Conan. This collects the very first couple of years that Conan the Barbarian was a comic book at Marvel Comics. So we kick off with a Hyborian Age map, very similar to how the omnibus started. And here's the very first Conan story. Looked a little bit different. The colors are a little bit different, but this is the way he started out. And then we went on to the classic look right here, the look you're probably more familiar with. And this, of course, started off by Barry Smith, otherwise known as Barry Windsor Smith. It is his artwork that kicked it off. And, of course, the wonderful Roy Thomas writing the story, because at the time, I swear that man was writing just about everything. And I can't say enough about this. I hadn't read these classic Marvel style stories until we had the first omnibus, and that's how I've been reading them. And never having read any of them, I've always loved that. You know, he was so, like, all the cross-hatching and the line work here kind of reminds me of the stuff like Jim Lee or Todd McFarlane would have done decades later. Barry Windsor Smith, man. Anyway, what I was saying is that this is my first time reading these. I read the Dark Horse stuff by Kurt Busiek, and of course the book themselves, and I was a big fan of Conan, and of course I watched the animated shows and the movies, even the Red Sonja kind of spin-off, because, well, it couldn't feature Conan. But anyway, yeah, I was always a Conan fan, but had never read the comic books until a couple of years ago when the first omnibus dropped. And there's nothing I can't say anything bad about these. They're great. They're a little bit wordy, but I mean, you really feel like you get your money's worth out of books like this. And of course, I say wordy, and I turn to the one page that has no dialogue. Damn it. But I swear, it is. So yes, Barry Windsor Smith is the main artist on this. I believe Gil Kane also draws some of this. This is before Big John takes over the book. Big John Buscema takes over later on as the ongoing artist. And I think that becomes the definitive Conan for a lot of people, including myself, even though I'm still new to all this. But one of the things that is missing that was in the omnibus, besides the wonderful introduction by Roy Thomas, is the letter pages. They are not collected, but I don't think Epic Collections have ever done letter pages. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Now, there's a story that's in the omnibus where Roy Thomas goes through all of these issues, and he explains why the lines here in issue 12 right here, The Dweller in the Dark, they look so faded. There were some issues, and eventually it led to why Gil Kane and, of course, Big John Buscema took over the book. The book, by the way, has 352 pages. And like I mentioned, retails for $34.99. So even though it's one of the most slimmer Epic collections, it's one of the most cheapest ones too. And just look at this glorious artwork. Yeah, I swear, you are in for a treat if you have not been reading Conan. If you've never read the Marvel stuff, this is freaking awesome. I think this is probably my favorite work that Roy Thomas has ever done. Because, you know, I was a big fan of his Avengers, but I think I enjoy this so much more. Because it made me into a bigger Conan fan. Now, let's look here in the back for the extras. All these, yes, that's right. All these black pages here, those are all extras. Just in case, I am censoring this page because I don't know who's read this or who hasn't. So here we have the script right here, with page breakdowns and notes. We don't know if a Savage Sword of Conan Epic Collection is coming yet or not. So I guess it really depends on the sales of this. Oh, this is awesome. This is a lot of the stuff that was in the omnibus is collected back here. Original page art, house ads, letter pages, the little blurbs, unused covers, and then original artwork on the covers by the great Barry Windsor Smith. Here's unedited pencil art pages by Barry Windsor Smith of Conan the Barbarian #5. These are just the pencil art, no inks. So I remember this from the omnibus too. They talk about doing a alteration here to Jenna's face by John Romita. Because John Romita was just touching up people's artwork back then. God, look at that. That is freaking awesome. Man, Barry Windsor Smith was the man. Here is the original unused cover to #9. And of course, the original non-colored cover right here. Concept sketch. You know, as undetailed as this is, I would love to own that. Something like that. That would be really cool. So here's some alterations to either the drawings or the dialogue by the comics code. I think this is from when he had killed those guys that hung his friend. And then this is an alteration to the face right there from Barry Windsor Smith. Unused covers. I love when they throw things in here like that. Uninked pencil art. And then the plot synopsis back here. Here are different collections. And of course, you know, I know that Dark Horse released these already in trade paperback format, but I know some of you all are just getting the Marvel Epic collections. So that's your way to collect them. And of course, the Conan Classics right here. I wonder how many times has this cover been recolored? Like in all the years that it's been reprinted. Here are all the covers with the new colors. And taking us to Classic 11. Web of the Spider God. Of course, other collected editions, because they're doing, well, these are the Omnis right here, the original Marvel years, and they're also doing the Dark Horse years, too. Here is the Hour of the Dragon. I talked about that in a previous episode. This was an event that went through Savage Sword of Conan and then Conan the Barbarian, and they even recolored the Savage Sword of Conan issues to tell the story as an all-in-one. But that is it. This is the Conan the Barbarian, kicking off the Epic collections for our favorite Sumerian. Now, you can pick up this book when it comes out on August 5th from our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off the cover price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. And check out their bargain bin for even greater deals up to 90% off cover price. And for you minties, Cheap Graphic Novels is running a special promotion. If you're a first-time customer, let them know you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discounts, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content and the page count of this Epic collection. Let me know in the comments down below if the Epic way is the way that you collect these comics and collected editions, or if you already have the omnibus. Or if you've never read Conan and you were just waiting for this Epic to drop, well, it's finally here, or rather, it's finally coming. So leave all those comments down below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. We put out videos every day. and ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. We can be found on Patreon and Redbubble. There are different tiers of Patreon that we have. All of that information is in the description down below. And more importantly, please everybody stay healthy, stay safe, and much love to all of you.